see, some more good stories here. I think of a lot of them, and then you never think of them when you're sitting here. Well, let's see, I grew up, I was born during right after the Depression, and it was, well, I never knew, I always thought we were just like everybody else, but my dad had a good job. He didn't start with, he owned grocery stores, and he went broke in the grocery business 2 or 3 times. And then when then he finally got a job in Peoria. We went from Bridgetown to Lincoln, then back to Rushville, and then finally he came to Peoria and got a job on the railroad. And when you started on the railroad, you didn't really get to work all the time. You didn't have a full-time job. You were just, I called it an extra board. You got to work when somebody else didn't want to or didn't show up. So he had to go down every day, 3 different times a day, for 3 different shifts, and sit there to see if somebody didn't show up so he could work. And then when World War II broke out and he got drafted, they took him up to Chicago, and he passed his physical, and he was going to be in the Marine Corps. And they said they'd give him a notification where to report. And when the railroad found out that he was going in the Army, they said the railroad was a strategic employer, and they couldn't afford to lose him. They called the government, and he didn't go. They never called him. They put him working on the railroad. So he worked full-time the whole time of the war and after. He was working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. So he got in a lot of time then. But that was the way it worked back then. He worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, 2 shifts. And in 1946, we built a house out in Fernwood. That's out, it's west of town, west of Peoria, off of Farmington Road. And that was quite a thing. We built this new house, and we moved a lot because Dad there always, if he had anything and somebody wanted to buy it, it was always for sale. And so I think him and Mom had been married 11 years, and we'd lived in 11 different houses. So when we moved to this one, we lived there. I was in 5th grade, and we lived there until I was finished in high school, which is amazing for us. And it was a good deal. And we built the house, and it was quite a place. It was kind of like the one I live in now. It was a Cape Cod type house, and it had 2 bedrooms on the main floor, and then the upstairs was finished, and later on we finished it, and it had 2 bedrooms up there. But it had 1 bathroom. When we were building the thing, it had a bathroom out back in the backyard.